For someone who's not familiar with you, I'm going to give the real quick 20-second elevator pitch to get them caught up to speed. This part is probably not your favorite to have to hear, but I'm doing this for everyone else, so you sit tight.
Okay.
2 Grammy Awards, have written for Barbara Streisand, Andrea Bocelli, Natasha Bedingfield, Lauren Daigle, Hillsong, People Know 10,000 Reasons, Our God with Chris Tomlin, Cornerstone. Now everyone's up to speed. This is Jonas Myrin. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today, Sarah.
So yeah, with that list of accolades, you've been writing songs since you were what? How old?
Probably since I was 7 or 8, I think. It was always something that was a part of me. Like I always wrote songs. Like my parents are missionaries and ministers, and I remember I would be like 7 or 8, and I would be like, Mom or Dad, what are you preaching about today? And I would literally like write a song for their sermon, which was terrible sometimes. You know, it would be like, they're like, we're talking about the unconditional love of God or something like that. And then I would write a little song saying, He loves you, He loves you, He loves you, something super simple, and super from the heart from this, 8-year-old kid. And I was so excited to sing it after the sermon. But actually, so many people always ended up crying, and it ended up ministering to them. So it was cool. Like songs for me was something that I saw it as a vehicle to really help people and to point people to heaven.
And that comes through in all these songs that you write, including this one for a Christmas film, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But talk a little bit more about that purpose that you find. You said that music is a response to the reality of life. So in the year 2020, you said you turned off the news and you went to the piano.
That's right. It was a choice. And I think we all have, every day we have a choice. We have a choice to react. We have a choice to become angry, fearful, or bitter. Or we can actually choose to let what's going on, let this fire we're walking through, let it refine us and let it make us better. And for me, music has always been something that has been my language with God and to others. And it's this place where I can go and I can find peace, and I can wrestle, and I can pour out my whole heart, my doubts, my fears, my hopes, my dreams. And this Christmas song was birthed out of this quarantine this summer, in the middle of a hot day in July. I finished it, and it came out this week. So I'm so grateful that it's out there and bringing hope to people and pointing people to heaven.
It's called Just a Breath Away, and then parentheses, Noel. Talk about the inspiration.
The inspiration for this song, well, first of all, it's from the movie The Three Wise Men. So I got asked to write a song for this movie, and they sent me a link, and it's a beautiful family holiday film, and we get to follow the journey of the three wise men finding Jesus, and it's told from their perspective, which is really cool. I've never seen a Christmas movie told from their perspective, and Andrew Griffith is the narrator, and is just doing an amazing kind of poetic narration of the story. And I saw it and I felt like, oh my goodness, I felt what I needed to write. And the song is talking about that hope is just a breath away. That Jesus came, it was just in one breath, he was born, the savior of the world. And there's a line in the second verse that goes, don't be afraid, hope is here to stay. The light of the world will light up your way, and all of the angels will keep you safe. And I felt that for this year, in the middle of this pandemic, in the middle of all the fear that we face with, that we can find hope and we can find peace, that the light of the world will light up our way.
Where does that come from inside of you? Like, I know it must be so difficult to articulate, but for someone that's not a songwriter, it's like you're birthing something out of nothing.
Yeah, it's interesting, Sarah. I don't really know how it happens. It's literally, the only way I can explain it is sometimes I feel, that I call them like heavenly downloads. It's literally like, it's like I open my heart and I feel something inside of me, and it's like maybe a line, or it's a melody, or it's a feeling. And I come here to the piano where I'm sitting right now, and and I will just start, and I will just like, it's like almost like a dance where you just let the chords and the melodies go where they need to go, and you try to listen, you try to follow, and sometimes there's a lot of work though. Sometimes, I mean, some songs that I worked on for years. Um, I wrote a song with my friend Joel Houston from Hillsong called No Other Name, and I think we worked on that song for, I mean, over like a year, literally back and forth, and then it finally came together. But that was a wrestle, and then we wrote another song called Broken Vessels that we literally, it poured out of us, and we wrote that like in maybe very quick. Like I think that we had the chorus and the verse melodies in like half an hour. So it's different for every song. But what's so special and what's so beautiful is that no matter if it's a song that flows in one moment or if it takes a long time, God has a way to use them all for his purposes and to help people and heal people and remind us of, you know, there is a hope.
When you collaborate with someone, and so you both come into the studio together, after you get past some of the chit chat, how do you kind of find that connection between the two of you to create?
Wow, good question. I think I always try to, when I have artists, for example, come here to the studio, I always try to really make sure it comes from a real place. I want songs to have authority. I want them to have authenticity. And I think the only way they can carry authority is when it comes from a place of truth and from a place of realness and from something that you walk through yourself and something that you're doubting and something that you're struggling with. Like it's all, you know, we read the Psalms, and this is what I love about David so much. It's like David, to me, is the greatest songwriter in the world because he wrote half of the Psalms, and the Bible is the most sold book in the world. So David is actually, and the Psalms is the most read book in the Bible. So David actually is, to me, like the greatest songwriter. And what I love about his heart is that he poured out his whole heart. He didn't hold back. He said, my God, why have you forsaken me? He felt forgotten. And he was honest about his doubts and about his fears. But then we read later, and he goes, I will bless the Lord. I will dwell in his house forever. There is no greater place for me than in his presence. So to me, that is something I want with artists that come to the studio. I want us to find a safe place where they can come and sit at the table as they are. And from that, I often just start to talk about what's going on in their lives. And sometimes it will be something they say, and I'm like, let's write a song about that today. And they're like, really, that thing? I'm like, yeah. So it's all different, but I think something powerful happens when it's birthed from.
One of the things I also appreciate about you is you're very intentional about what you're creating, wanting it to be life-giving, redemptive. You mentioned a little bit like we could go in the direction of anger, bitterness, all those things. Tell the story about an artist who came in to collaborate with you. She'd recently gone through a breakup. You could tell she was in a lot of pain. She was getting ready to put that all into a song, and instead you stopped and you were a friend to her. And the resulting thing is not only did she feel seen, but you ended up not creating something that was going to perhaps cause more pain. Can you talk about that?
Yes, absolutely, Sarah. This actually was interesting because this was our first songwriting session, me and this artist. She's one of the most famous people in America, singers. And it was a lot of pressure. I wanted to really, be my best. I wanted to write something that's going to be powerful and great. And we started talking. I made her a cup of tea. I was sitting chatting, and she poured out her heart, and she told me about this guy that had left her and betrayed her, and he had been horrible. I mean, really horrible. And she goes, but let's write about this. Let's write a song about that. And I thought to myself, here's this incredible voice, an incredible heart that she has. And she reaches millions and millions around the world. And I told her, I said, you know what I think now? We shouldn't really write. I said, what we should do, we should just have a talk. I think you need a friend today to just process and pray and just have a safe place today. And we ended up talking for hours, and ended up, I got to pray for her. And it was interesting because I realized in that moment, my job as being a songwriter or artist or producer that day what was supposed to happen was not a hit song or a great record. It was for a heart to feel safe and for a soul to just feel seen. And what actually ended up happening was that I think the next session we met, ended up writing one of my big songs of last year, me and her. And that was amazing because it was not planned, but I think because I gave her the space to just be, and I didn't want to be like, I'm going to use you to get a hit song, but I'm just going to let you come and be who you are. And she said that was the first time a producer or writer in Hollywood had done that with her. She goes, Jonas, that changed my life at the moment. And she's actually free now, she's healed, and she's in a new relationship, and I think we're going to get engaged. So it's amazing. It's just, I'd love seeing God at work like that.
I love that story. I love so much about it. Just not only do you write about the humanity and the vulnerability of people, but then you take very strong care of it when you're in the room with others. You said you're at the piano right now?
Yeah.
Would you walk us through just a little bit of the process, just even for a couple of seconds, just play a little bit of what pours out of your heart? You don't have to sing or anything, but since you're right there, I can't let this interview be done without a little bit of something.
Absolutely. So I tell you how I started Just a Breath Away. So I had this little, it was almost this little instrumental piece that ended up being the verse, and it went like this. Oh, that feels like Christmas. It feels like the movie, and I thought of like a setting at Christmas, and this line came. Fire's on the table set. The children are playing out there on the deck. And then I thought, what else is happening? And I saw the Christmas tree, and the tree's full of gifts, and the candles are lit, but one seat is empty, your name on it. And I pray all the angels will keep you safe. And that verse really poured out of me like that. And then I wanted to take the chorus somewhere, and I think Noel is such a beautiful word. And I thought that is what it needs to, that's what the chorus needs to be. And then it started, Noel, Noel, wherever you are, look to the stars and know that you're not on your own. Yeah. It's a little piece of Just a Breath Away.
Oh my goodness. I love it. And the film is on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
And it's definitely one you can watch with the kids, and it's animated and it's wonderful. And then, just get ready for that breathtaking song. So Jonas, so thankful for you.
Thank you, Sarah, for having me today.
I hope we get to do it again soon.
I hope so too. Have a wonderful holiday with your loved ones, and God bless you.